Boost your brain power. How to train your brain to learn new skills. Introduction. The mind is the most powerful tool you possess, shaping your reality, your abilities, and your potential. What if you could unlock its full power and push the boundaries of what you thought was possible? As Albert Einstein once said, "The mind that opens to a new idea never returns to its original size." Your brain is not a fixed entity. It has the incredible ability to adapt, grow, and learn, regardless of your age or experience. In this book, you will discover proven strategies to train your brain to learn faster, think clearer, and master any skill with ease. From understanding the science of neuroplasticity to developing daily habits that optimize cognitive function, every chapter will bring you closer to becoming the best version of yourself. Whether you're looking to improve your memory, focus, or creativity, this journey will show you how to harness the untapped potential of your mind. The techniques shared here are designed to fit seamlessly into your daily life, helping you integrate powerful mental exercises that lead to real, lasting results. It's time to move beyond your limitations and embrace the limitless power of your mind. Get ready to break through mental barriers and embark on a path of growth, transformation, and limitless possibility. Let's dive in. Chapter 1. Understand the power of neuroplasticity. The first and most important step to boosting your brain power is gaining a deeper understanding of how your brain works. Neuroplasticity, also known as brain plasticity, is the brain's incredible ability to change, reorganize, and adapt throughout your life. For a long time, it was believed that the brain's structure and capabilities were fixed after a certain age. However, science has shown that your brain is not rigid or unchangeable. It is highly dynamic and flexible. This means that you have the power to rewire your brain to learn new skills, improve existing abilities, and even recover from injuries. The ability to reshape your brain isn't just an abstract idea or theoretical concept. It is a proven reality backed by scientific research. At the heart of neuroplasticity is the concept of neural connections. The brain communicates and processes information through an extensive network of neurons, nerve cells. When you learn something new or engage in a new activity, your brain forms new neural connections, or synapses, between these neurons. The more you practice and reinforce a new skill, the stronger and more efficient these connections become, allowing you to perform the task with greater ease and precision. This is why consistent practice, repetition, and learning are so important. They help build and strengthen these neural pathways, making learning faster and more effective. In this chapter, we'll dive deeper into how the brain forms new connections, how learning occurs at the neurological level, and why the process of neuroplasticity is essential for mastering new skills. You will learn that your brain is constantly evolving, even into adulthood, and that every new experience or challenge has the potential to strengthen it. This understanding will empower you to take control of your cognitive abilities and accelerate your learning process. One of the most empowering aspects of neuroplasticity is that it allows you to shape your brain's capabilities intentionally. If you put in the effort to practice regularly, challenge yourself with new experiences, and engage in activities that promote learning, you can train your brain to grow stronger, more agile, and more capable every single day. The key is to consistently push your brain outside of its comfort zone and keep it engaged in learning new things. Just like a muscle, the brain grows and becomes more powerful with exercise and repetition. So when you look at learning a new skill, whether it's mastering a language, playing a musical instrument, or developing a new habit, understand that the process is rooted in the power of neuroplasticity. Your brain is always changing and adapting, and with the right tools and mindset, you can make the most of this incredible ability to improve your mental agility and expand your potential. In this chapter, we will show you how to tap into the power of neuroplasticity to make your learning process not only faster, but also more effective and long-lasting. Chapter 2. Develop a growth mindset for lasting change. The second key to boosting your brain power lies in cultivating a growth mindset, a powerful mental attitude that can transform the way you approach learning and personal development. A growth mindset is the belief that intelligence, abilities, and talents are not fixed traits, but can be developed and enhanced through effort, perseverance, and a willingness to learn from mistakes. This is in stark contrast to a fixed mindset, which assumes that intelligence and talent are innate and cannot be significantly changed. People with a fixed mindset often avoid challenges, fear failure, and struggle with setbacks as they believe their abilities are limited. On the other hand, individuals with a growth mindset see challenges as opportunities to grow and learn. They understand that making mistakes is a natural part of the learning process, and rather than being discouraged by failure, they use it as a stepping stone to improvement. This shift in thinking doesn't just enhance your confidence, it actually rewires your brain to be more adaptable and resilient in the face of adversity. In this chapter, we'll dive into the concept of a growth mindset and explain how it directly impacts your brain's ability to learn and grow. When you adopt a growth mindset, you're telling your brain that it is capable of learning, improving, and mastering new skills. This mindset encourages the brain to become more engaged in the learning process, boosting your focus and motivation. As you face new challenges, your brain releases neurochemicals that strengthen neural connections, enhancing cognitive abilities like memory, problem-solving, and critical thinking. Research has shown that people who believe they can improve through effort tend to perform better in a variety of areas, from academics to personal development to career success. A growth mindset is linked to higher levels of perseverance, better problem-solving skills, and increased levels of curiosity and creativity. These are all key components of a strong, capable brain that can learn new skills efficiently. One of the best ways to develop a growth mindset is by changing the way you talk to yourself. The language you use influences how you perceive challenges and setbacks. Instead of thinking, "I can't do this," try reframing it as, "I can't do this yet, but I'm going to keep working at it." This simple shift helps your brain focus on the effort and process rather than on perceived limitations. Another important aspect of a growth mindset is embracing the idea of deliberate practice. This is the practice of actively engaging with a skill, pushing yourself just beyond your current abilities, and consistently working to improve. Deliberate practice challenges the brain, forcing it to form new connections and grow stronger with each session. When you combine this practice with a growth mindset, you create a feedback loop that accelerates your learning. The key takeaway from this chapter is that adopting a growth mindset can have a profound impact on your ability to learn new skills. It changes the way you view challenges, failures, and your own abilities. By embracing the idea that you can always grow and improve, you prime your brain for success. The more you believe in your ability to change, the more your brain will adapt, and the faster you'll develop new skills and capabilities. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent and open to learning. When you embrace this mindset, you set yourself up for lifelong growth and mastery. Chapter 3. Build consistency into your learning routine. The third essential element in boosting your brain power is the practice of consistency. Consistent learning and practice are the bedrock of skill acquisition and brain development. In fact, the key to mastering any new skill lies not in sporadic bursts of effort, but in establishing a regular, sustainable routine. Just as physical muscles grow stronger through consistent exercise, the brain strengthens its neural connections and cognitive abilities through consistent mental effort. In this chapter, we will explore how building consistency into your learning routine is crucial for accelerating your brain's ability to learn new skills. When you engage in regular practice, your brain forms stronger, more efficient neural pathways, making the process of learning quicker and easier. However, it's not just about practice for the sake of practice. It's about making your learning a part of your daily routine, integrating it into your life in a way that feels natural and manageable. Consistency is key because the brain thrives on repetition. Every time you repeat an action or engage with a concept, your brain creates and strengthens new connections, gradually making the process more intuitive. This is why the more consistently you practice, the more automatic and effortless your skills will become. This is a direct result of neuroplasticity, where repeated exposure to a specific task or activity helps build the necessary networks in your brain to master that skill. Building consistency into your learning routine doesn't mean overwhelming yourself with hours of study or practice every day. It's more about creating small, manageable habits that you can stick to over the long term. For example, if you're learning a new language, practicing for 15 to 20 minutes every day can be more effective than cramming for hours once a week. Short, consistent sessions allow your brain to absorb and retain information more effectively than long, irregular sessions. In this chapter, we'll also explore how consistency leads to increased motivation. When you commit to a learning routine, you start seeing progress over time, and progress is a powerful motivator. Even small improvements can boost your confidence and drive you to continue, creating a positive feedback loop that encourages further learning. This process helps build momentum and transforms learning from a challenging task into a rewarding experience. One way to ensure consistency is to set up a learning schedule that works with your lifestyle. Whether you prefer to learn in the morning, during lunch breaks, or in the evening, consistency is more achievable when it becomes a regular part of your day. A well-structured learning routine not only supports your brain's growth, but also makes the process of learning more enjoyable and less stressful. The key is to avoid the temptation of all-or-nothing thinking. If you miss a day or fall behind on your schedule, don't let it derail your progress. Instead, focus on getting back on track and maintaining your consistent effort moving forward. Consistency also involves tracking your progress. By keeping track of your efforts, whether through journaling, noting milestones, or reflecting on your achievements, you'll develop a clear sense of how much you've accomplished. This boosts your motivation and reinforces the positive habit of learning. It also allows you to see which areas need more attention, helping you refine your practice and make more informed decisions about how to proceed. Another crucial aspect of consistency is patience. Learning is a gradual process, and while you may not see dramatic results right away, your brain is always working in the background to build new pathways and improve your cognitive abilities. The more consistent you are, the greater the benefits you will experience over time. It's not about rushing the process. It's about showing up every day and steadily building your brain power. The key takeaway from this chapter is that consistency is the secret to mastering any new skill. By making learning a regular part of your routine, you allow your brain to grow stronger and more efficient. Small, consistent efforts compound over time, leading to greater success than sporadic, intense bursts of effort. Your brain is capable of incredible growth, but only if you commit to showing up and putting in the work, day after day. Consistency builds habits, and habits build mastery. So make learning a daily habit, and watch your brain power grow exponentially. Chapter 4. Use visualization to enhance learning. One of the most powerful and often underestimated tools for enhancing your brain power is visualization. Visualization is not just for athletes or performers. It is a highly effective technique for anyone looking to improve their cognitive abilities, master new skills, and accelerate their learning process. By using the power of your imagination, you can significantly enhance your brain's ability to learn and retain new information. In this chapter, we will explore how visualization works, how it can enhance your learning, and how you can incorporate it into your daily routine to boost your brain power. At its core, visualization involves mentally rehearsing an activity or skill in your mind before physically performing it. It's as if you're creating a mental simulation of the task or skill, imagining the process in vivid detail. The most fascinating part of this technique is that your brain doesn't distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and real ones. When you visualize an action, your brain activates the same neural pathways that would be activated if you were actually performing the task. This is why visualization is so powerful. It helps strengthen the neural connections associated with a specific skill without requiring any physical practice. For example, if you're trying to learn a new language, visualizing yourself speaking that language can help reinforce your memory of vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. If you're learning a new physical skill, like playing a musical instrument or practicing a sport, visualization can help your brain practice those movements and create the necessary neural pathways to perform them in real life. This mental rehearsal prepares your brain to carry out the task more efficiently when you actually do it. One of the most notable benefits of visualization is its ability to enhance muscle memory. When athletes or musicians visualize themselves performing an action, they are not just imagining the movement, they are mentally practicing every step of the process. This helps their brain become more familiar with the action, so when they perform it in reality, their movements are more fluid, precise, and natural. The same principle applies to any skill you want to develop. By mentally rehearsing the skill over and over again, you strengthen the neural connections associated with that action, making it easier for your brain to execute it when the time comes. Visualization also plays a crucial role in boosting confidence and reducing anxiety. Often, when learning a new skill, we may feel nervous or doubtful about our ability to succeed. This self-doubt can create mental blocks that hinder our learning process. However, when you use visualization, you can mentally prepare yourself for success. By imagining yourself performing the task successfully, you build positive expectations and increase your belief in your abilities. This positive mental imagery helps reduce stress and anxiety, creating a more relaxed and focused state of mind that is conducive to learning. In this chapter, we will also explore the concept of mental rehearsal in greater detail. Mental rehearsal is the process of imagining yourself performing a task or skill with complete focus and attention to detail. The more vivid and detailed your visualization, the more effective it will be. Instead of simply imagining the outcome of a task, focus on the steps involved, the sensations you would experience, and the emotions tied to the process. This helps your brain not only learn the skill, but also internalize the process, which leads to faster improvement and better retention. Visualization can also be combined with other learning techniques to enhance its effectiveness. For instance, you can use visualization to reinforce the material you've learned through reading or practice. If you've just read about a concept or practiced a skill, take a few minutes to close your eyes and visualize yourself applying that knowledge or skill. Picture yourself using the information in a real-world scenario, or mentally rehearse the action you want to perform. This helps reinforce the neural pathways you've created and accelerates your ability to apply what you've learned. Another powerful technique is visualization of success. This is when you imagine not only the process of learning, but also the successful outcome. For example, if you're learning to give a presentation, visualize yourself speaking confidently, engaging with your audience, and successfully delivering your message. By visualizing a positive outcome, you program your mind for success, helping to reduce any fears or doubts about your ability to perform. In addition to improving your cognitive abilities, visualization can help enhance your motivation and focus. When you vividly imagine yourself achieving your goals and mastering a skill, you create a powerful sense of purpose that keeps you driven and focused on your learning journey. This sense of purpose fuels your determination and reinforces your commitment to practice and improvement. So, how can you incorporate visualization into your daily routine? Start by setting aside a few minutes each day to mentally rehearse the skills you want to learn or improve. Find a quiet space, close your eyes, and focus your mind on the skill you're working on. Visualize yourself performing the task with precision, paying attention to the sensations, details, and emotions involved. As you continue to practice this technique, you'll notice that your ability to learn and retain information improves, your skills become more refined, and your confidence grows. The key takeaway from this chapter is that visualization is a powerful tool for boosting your brain power and accelerating your ability to learn new skills. By mentally rehearsing tasks, you can strengthen neural pathways, improve muscle memory, boost your confidence, and reduce anxiety. Whether you're learning a new language, mastering a musical instrument, or practicing a sport, visualization can help you perform at your best. So, make visualization a regular part of your learning routine and watch as it helps you unlock new levels of success and mastery in your life. Chapter 5. Break down complex skills into manageable chunks. When it comes to mastering new skills, one of the most effective strategies is breaking down complex tasks into smaller, more manageable chunks. The process of chunking is rooted in cognitive science and refers to the brain's ability to group individual pieces of information into larger, more easily processed units. This technique not only makes learning more digestible, but also significantly enhances your ability to absorb, retain, and recall information. In this chapter, we will explore how chunking works and why it is one of the most powerful tools for learning new skills efficiently. The first step in breaking down complex skills is recognizing that attempting to learn everything all at once can be overwhelming and counterproductive. Our brains have limitations when it comes to processing large amounts of information in a short period. When faced with a complex skill, the brain tends to become overloaded, leading to frustration, confusion, and even burnout. However, when you break the task into smaller, manageable pieces, the learning process becomes much more accessible and less daunting. For example, if you're learning to play the piano, trying to learn an entire song in one go can feel impossible. But by breaking the song down into smaller sections, such as individual phrases or even just a few notes at a time, you give your brain the opportunity to focus on one element at a time. This allows you to master each section thoroughly before moving on to the next. By the time you've mastered all the smaller pieces, you'll find that putting them together to play the entire song feels much easier and more natural. This concept of breaking tasks into chunks also applies to more abstract skills, such as problem solving or learning a new language. When faced with a new language, instead of trying to memorize an entire vocabulary list at once, you can break it down into categories, such as colors, food, or numbers. This makes the material more organized and helps your brain recognize patterns, making it easier to learn and recall the words in context. Cognitive psychology tells us that chunking works by reducing the cognitive load on the brain. When we try to remember individual pieces of information in isolation, we rely on short-term memory, which is limited in both capacity and duration. However, when we group related pieces of information together, we are able to store them in long-term memory, which has much greater capacity. As a result, the brain is able to handle more information with less effort, making learning faster and more efficient. A powerful example of chunking in action is the way expert chess players remember positions on a chessboard. While beginners might struggle to remember the placement of individual pieces, experts can quickly recognize complex patterns or chunks of the board that they have memorized over time. This ability to chunk information allows them to process a large amount of data in a short period and make better strategic decisions. The same principle applies to any skill. The more you practice breaking things down into smaller chunks, the more proficient your brain becomes at processing and recalling the necessary information. So, how can you apply this principle of chunking to your own learning? Start by identifying the most complex aspects of the skill you're trying to learn. What are the major components of the task? Once you've identified these components, break them down further into smaller, more manageable units. For instance, if you're learning to cook a complicated dish, rather than trying to master the entire recipe at once, focus on perfecting individual steps. If you're learning a new skill, such as photography, you might break the process down into mastering different techniques, such as adjusting the aperture, shutter speed, and ISO settings, one at a time. Each chunk you master becomes a building block for the next. Another important aspect of chunking is repetition. The more you practice each chunk, the stronger the neural connections associated with that specific piece of information will become. Over time, your brain will start to associate the chunks with each other, making the overall task easier to perform. The more familiar each chunk becomes, the less effort your brain needs to put into processing it, and the more automatic the skill becomes. To further improve the chunking process, it's important to focus on understanding the underlying principles of each chunk. When you focus on grasping the why behind each piece of the task, rather than just memorizing the steps, you're creating a deeper understanding of the skill. This deeper understanding allows you to more effectively apply what you've learned in different situations. For example, in learning a language, instead of simply memorizing vocabulary, focus on understanding the grammar rules and how words fit together. This will enable you to apply your knowledge more fluidly and creatively. Additionally, it's important to take breaks and allow your brain time to consolidate what you've learned. Research has shown that learning is most effective when you alternate between focused practice and rest periods. During the rest periods, your brain processes the information and strengthens the neural pathways related to the skill you're learning. This is why spacing out practice sessions and taking time to reflect on what you've learned is so important for long-term mastery. In this chapter, we've explored how breaking down complex tasks into manageable chunks can significantly enhance your ability to learn new skills. By focusing on small, digestible parts of the larger task, you not only make learning more manageable, but you also improve your brain's capacity to absorb and retain information. Whether you're learning a physical skill, a mental skill, or a new concept, chunking allows your brain to process information more efficiently, leading to faster learning and greater mastery. Remember, the key to success isn't doing everything at once. It's mastering one chunk at a time and building up your expertise step by step. Chapter 6. Harness the power of focus and eliminate distractions. In today's fast-paced world, distractions are everywhere. From social media notifications to the constant demands of modern life, it's more challenging than ever to stay focused. However, focus is one of the most crucial ingredients for effective learning and brain power development. The ability to concentrate deeply on a task allows your brain to process information efficiently, retain new knowledge, and improve skills at a faster rate. In this chapter, we'll explore the power of focus and how to cultivate it, while also addressing how to eliminate distractions that hinder your ability to learn and grow. Focus is the mental process of concentrating your attention on one specific task or thought while blocking out irrelevant stimuli. When you focus deeply, your brain is able to dedicate all of its resources to processing the task at hand. This allows you to absorb information more quickly, solve problems more effectively, and improve your ability to apply new skills. However, in our modern world, focus is often a rare commodity. Our brains are constantly bombarded with information, and multitasking can lead to cognitive overload, making it harder to retain information or perform at our best. The first step to harnessing the power of focus is to understand how the brain works in relation to attention. The brain has a limited capacity for processing information at any given time. When you multitask or switch between tasks frequently, you're forcing your brain to constantly shift its focus. This switching can actually decrease efficiency and impair memory retention. The more often you divide your attention, the less effective your brain becomes at retaining and understanding information. To improve your focus, the key is to practice single tasking. Single tasking, or focusing on one thing at a time, allows you to dedicate your full attention to the task at hand. Whether you're learning a new skill, reading a book, or solving a problem, giving your full attention to the task allows your brain to work more efficiently and improve retention. Studies have shown that people who focus on a single task at a time are able to perform it more effectively and recall the information later with greater accuracy. One of the most effective ways to train your brain to focus is to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is the art of being fully present in the moment, without judgment or distraction. When you practice mindfulness, you train your brain to be aware of your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings without getting distracted by them. This helps improve concentration as you become more aware of when your mind starts to wander and can gently bring your focus back to the task at hand. Mindfulness can be practiced in a variety of ways, from meditation to simply paying attention to your breath during daily activities. The more you practice mindfulness, the easier it becomes to stay focused on what's important. Another powerful technique for enhancing focus is setting clear, specific goals. When you have a clear sense of purpose and direction, it becomes much easier to maintain your focus. Rather than jumping from one task to another or getting lost in the details, having a clear goal helps direct your attention and energy toward what truly matters. By breaking down your larger goals into smaller, more manageable tasks, you create a sense of structure that makes it easier to stay on track. In addition to setting goals, it's important to create an optimal environment for focus. A cluttered or noisy environment can be a significant barrier to concentration, making it harder to stay focused and absorb new information. To enhance your ability to focus, create a space that is conducive to learning. This may involve organizing your workspace, eliminating unnecessary distractions, and ensuring that you have everything you need before you begin. For example, if you're studying or practicing a new skill, make sure your workspace is quiet and free from distractions like your phone or television. The fewer external distractions you face, the easier it will be for your brain to focus on the task at hand. Time management is another critical factor in maintaining focus. The brain can only focus deeply for a limited amount of time before it becomes fatigued. One effective method for managing your time and maintaining focus is the Pomodoro technique. This technique involves setting a timer for 25 minutes of focused work, followed by a 5-minute break. After 4 rounds of focused work, you take a longer break of 15 to 30 minutes. This cycle of focused work and rest helps maintain your brain's energy and keeps your attention sharp. By incorporating structured work sessions into your learning routine, you can prevent burnout and stay focused over longer periods. Another key element to improving focus is learning how to eliminate distractions. This is easier said than done, especially in an era where distractions seem to be constantly pulling at our attention. However, there are several practical steps you can take to reduce distractions during your learning sessions. One of the most effective ways is to turn off notifications on your phone and other devices. Social media alerts, text messages, and emails can all pull you away from your task and break your concentration. Additionally, try to limit your exposure to background noise or music that might interfere with your ability to concentrate. If necessary, use noise-canceling headphones or find a quiet space to study or practice. Self-discipline plays a crucial role in maintaining focus and eliminating distractions. When you consciously choose to stay focused and resist the temptation to check your phone or get sidetracked, you're exercising self-control and strengthening your ability to concentrate. One way to build this self-discipline is by setting specific boundaries for yourself. For example, you might decide to dedicate a set amount of time each day to uninterrupted learning. By committing to these boundaries, you train your brain to stay on task and gradually improve your ability to focus. Ultimately, harnessing the power of focus and eliminating distractions is a process of creating an environment, mindset, and routine that supports your brain's natural ability to concentrate. By practicing single tasking, mindfulness, goal setting, and effective time management, you can enhance your focus and improve your ability to learn new skills. It's not about forcing yourself to focus for long stretches of time, but rather about creating the right conditions to maintain concentration and perform at your best. With regular practice and the right strategies, you'll find that your ability to stay focused improves and your brain power grows stronger, enabling you to master new skills with greater ease. Chapter 8. Optimize sleep, nutrition, and exercise for brain health. To truly boost your brain power and maximize your ability to learn new skills, it's essential to understand the integral role that your physical health plays in cognitive function. Your brain is a highly demanding organ that requires optimal fuel, rest, and exercise to perform at its best. Without the right balance of sleep, nutrition, and physical activity, even the most dedicated learning efforts can be hampered. In this chapter, we'll explore how you can optimize these key aspects of your health to enhance your brain's capacity to learn, retain information, and develop new skills more efficiently. The first cornerstone of brain health is sleep. While we often think of sleep as a time for rest, it's actually one of the most critical periods for your brain to process information, consolidate memories, and repair itself. During sleep, especially during deep sleep stages, the brain strengthens the neural connections formed throughout the day and integrates newly acquired information into long-term memory. This is why sleep is so crucial after studying or practicing a new skill. It's during sleep that your brain solidifies and organizes what you've learned, making it easier for you to recall and apply it the next day. The optimal amount of sleep varies depending on the individual, but generally, adults need between 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night for cognitive function to be at its peak. Lack of sleep can impair your ability to concentrate, reduce your memory retention, and slow down your learning process. Chronic sleep deprivation has been shown to negatively affect the brain's capacity to make decisions, solve problems, and even manage emotions. Therefore, prioritizing quality sleep is essential for anyone looking to boost their brain power and improve their learning abilities. To optimize your sleep, create a consistent sleep schedule, aim for uninterrupted sleep cycles, and create a relaxing bedtime routine that prepares your body and mind for restful sleep. The next vital aspect of brain health is nutrition. What you eat directly affects your brain's ability to function. Your brain is an energy-intensive organ, consuming about 20% of the body's total energy, and it requires a steady supply of high-quality nutrients to perform at its best. The brain relies on a range of nutrients, including healthy fats, proteins, vitamins, and minerals, to fuel cognitive functions like memory, learning, and problem-solving. One of the most important nutrients for brain health is omega-3 fatty acids. These healthy fats, found in foods like fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, sardines, walnuts, and flax seeds, are essential for the brain's structure and function. Omega-3 fatty acids support the growth of brain cells and help improve communication between neurons. Research has shown that these fats can enhance cognitive function, improve memory retention, and even protect the brain from age-related cognitive decline. In addition to omega-3s, it's crucial to maintain a balanced diet that includes a variety of other nutrients. Antioxidants, which are found in fruits and vegetables, help protect the brain from oxidative stress and inflammation. B vitamins, such as B6, B12, and folate, are vital for the production of neurotransmitters, which regulate mood, focus, and memory. Foods like leafy greens, eggs, legumes, and fortified cereals are excellent sources of B vitamins. Magnesium, found in nuts, seeds, and leafy greens, plays a role in cognitive function and helps calm the nervous system, supporting focus and relaxation. Another key factor in brain health is hydration. Your brain is made up of around 75% water, and even mild dehydration can impair cognitive function. It can cause difficulties with concentration, memory, and problem solving. Drinking adequate water throughout the day ensures that your brain stays hydrated and performs optimally. Aim to drink at least 8 cups of water a day, and consider supplementing this with hydrating foods like cucumbers, watermelon, and citrus fruits. While a well-rounded diet plays a significant role in supporting brain health, exercise is just as critical. Physical activity isn't only good for your body, it's incredibly beneficial for your brain as well. Exercise increases blood flow to the brain, delivering more oxygen and nutrients that are necessary for cognitive function. Regular physical activity also stimulates the production of growth factors, such as brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, which supports the growth and survival of brain cells. BDNF has been linked to improved memory, learning, and overall cognitive function. In particular, aerobic exercise, such as walking, running, cycling, or swimming, has been shown to improve cognitive function and boost memory retention. Studies have demonstrated that people who engage in regular physical activity have a greater volume of gray matter in the brain, which is associated with improved cognitive performance. Even just 30 minutes of moderate exercise, such as brisk walking, a few times a week can lead to noticeable improvements in focus, memory, and overall brain health. Exercise also promotes neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new connections and adapt to new experiences. This is critical for learning new skills, as it helps the brain become more efficient at processing and storing information. Additionally, physical activity has been shown to improve mood and reduce stress, both of which can positively affect cognitive function. When you exercise, your brain releases endorphins, which reduce stress and create feelings of well-being, allowing you to learn and focus more effectively. To optimize the benefits of exercise for brain health, aim for a combination of aerobic exercises, strength training, and activities that improve balance and coordination. Activities like yoga or Tai Chi are excellent for promoting both mental and physical well-being, as they help reduce stress, improve mindfulness, and support overall brain function. Another important aspect of brain health is reducing the impact of chronic stress. High levels of stress can have a detrimental effect on the brain, particularly on the hippocampus, which is responsible for memory and learning. Chronic stress leads to the release of cortisol, a hormone that in high levels can impair cognitive function and even lead to shrinkage of the hippocampus over time. Therefore, managing stress through relaxation techniques, mindfulness practices, and physical activity is essential for maintaining optimal brain function. To truly boost your brain power, it's important to take a holistic approach that includes not only mental exercises and learning strategies, but also a focus on physical health. Prioritizing sleep, nourishing your body with the right nutrients, and engaging in regular exercise all contribute to a healthier, more efficient brain. By making these practices part of your daily routine, you create an environment that supports cognitive growth, memory retention, and skill development. With a strong foundation in sleep, nutrition, and exercise, your brain will be better equipped to handle the challenges of learning, ultimately boosting your capacity to master new skills with ease and confidence. Chapter 9. Build resilience through challenges and setbacks. One of the most powerful ways to boost your brain power and enhance your learning abilities is through resilience, the ability to overcome challenges, learn from setbacks, and persist despite difficulties. Resilience is not something that you're simply born with. It's a skill that can be cultivated over time. Developing resilience can help you push through moments of doubt, failure, and frustration, all of which are a natural part of the learning process. In this chapter, we will explore how challenges and setbacks contribute to your brain's growth, how you can strengthen your resilience, and how this process can dramatically improve your ability to learn and master new skills. At its core, resilience is about adaptability. It's the ability to bounce back from adversity and to maintain a positive, forward-thinking attitude in the face of obstacles. When you face a challenge, whether it's learning something new, tackling a difficult project, or dealing with unexpected setbacks, your brain is forced to adapt. Each time you persevere, your brain forms new neural pathways and strengthens existing ones, making it easier for you to cope with similar challenges in the future. In a sense, each challenge you face is an opportunity to train your brain and make it more capable of handling the complexities of life and learning. The process of learning is rarely linear. You might encounter moments of rapid growth, followed by periods where you feel stuck or discouraged. This ebb and flow is a natural part of learning. However, many people stop trying when faced with setbacks, believing that they are not good enough or that they will never succeed. This is where resilience becomes crucial. Instead of viewing setbacks as failures, resilient individuals see them as stepping stones to success. They view each mistake or difficulty as an opportunity to learn something new, adjust their approach, and grow stronger. One key aspect of building resilience is developing a growth mindset, as discussed in Chapter 2. People with a growth mindset are more likely to persist through challenges because they believe that their abilities can be developed over time with effort and perseverance. When you encounter a setback, your initial response might be frustration, disappointment, or self-doubt. However, by shifting your perspective and seeing each challenge as an opportunity for growth, you can begin to change how you approach adversity. Instead of giving up, you'll ask yourself, "What can I learn from this experience?" This shift in mindset helps to create a more resilient outlook on learning and life. Another important component of resilience is self-compassion. Often, when we face setbacks or fail, we become our own harshest critics. We berate ourselves for not being good enough or for not achieving success quickly enough. However, this negative self-talk can undermine your ability to persevere and grow. Instead of beating yourself up, practice self-compassion. Recognize that setbacks are a normal part of the learning process and that it's okay to stumble. By treating yourself with kindness and understanding, you reduce the emotional impact of setbacks and make it easier to keep moving forward. Resilience also involves developing effective coping strategies for managing stress and adversity. When faced with challenges, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or discouraged. However, learning how to manage these emotions is crucial for maintaining resilience. Techniques like mindfulness, meditation, and deep breathing exercises can help you stay calm and focused during stressful times. These practices not only reduce stress, but also help you develop a more balanced emotional response to challenges, enabling you to face them with greater clarity and composure. Another key factor in resilience is having a support system. Resilient people don't face challenges alone. They seek out support from others, whether it's from friends, family, mentors, or colleagues. Having a network of people who encourage, motivate, and guide you through difficult times can make a huge difference in your ability to bounce back from setbacks. When you're struggling with a challenge, reaching out for support can provide you with fresh perspectives, practical advice, and emotional comfort, all of which can help you stay resilient and keep pushing forward. Additionally, building resilience involves learning to embrace discomfort. Growth often requires you to step outside of your comfort zone and face new, unfamiliar situations. While this can be uncomfortable, it is through these experiences that your brain develops new skills and cognitive abilities. The more you expose yourself to challenges and push past your comfort zone, the more resilient you become. It's important to view discomfort not as a sign to stop, but as an indicator that you are on the path to growth and improvement. Setting realistic expectations is another important aspect of resilience. It's easy to become discouraged when you expect immediate results or perfection. However, learning new skills and improving your brain power takes time. By setting achievable goals and acknowledging small successes along the way, you give yourself the motivation to continue, even when progress seems slow. Each step you take, no matter how small, is a victory that builds your resilience and strengthens your ability to face future challenges. One powerful way to build resilience is by reflecting on your past successes. Think about the times when you faced difficulties and overcame them. Reflect on how you handled those challenges, what strategies helped you persevere, and how you felt when you finally succeeded. By reminding yourself of your past resilience, you build confidence in your ability to handle future challenges. This reflection process helps to create a sense of empowerment, reinforcing the belief that you are capable of overcoming obstacles and achieving your goals. Lastly, resilience is a lifelong process. It's not about never encountering challenges or setbacks. It's about how you respond to them. Each time you face adversity and push through it, you build mental toughness, emotional strength, and cognitive resilience. With every challenge, your brain becomes more capable of handling future difficulties, and you learn more about yourself and your capacity for growth. In summary, building resilience through challenges and setbacks is a key factor in boosting your brain power and learning new skills. Rather than avoiding difficulty, embrace it as an opportunity to grow stronger and more capable. By cultivating a growth mindset, practicing self-compassion, developing coping strategies, seeking support, and stepping outside of your comfort zone, you can build the resilience necessary to persist through challenges and accelerate your learning process. Remember, it's not the setbacks that define your success. It's how you respond to them that shapes your ability to grow and achieve your goals. Chapter 10. Master the Art of Consistent Practice for Skill Mastery. One of the most fundamental principles for boosting your brain power and acquiring new skills is the art of consistent practice. It may seem obvious, but many people overlook the power of routine and persistence when it comes to mastering new abilities. The difference between someone who achieves their goals and someone who falls short often lies in their ability to practice consistently, not necessarily in their natural talent or intellect. In this chapter, we will dive deep into why consistent practice is essential for skill mastery, how it impacts your brain, and how you can develop a practice routine that leads to long-term success. The first key concept to understand is that practice is not just about repeating the same task over and over. It's about deliberate, focused practice. Deliberate practice is a concept pioneered by psychologist Anders Ericsson, which involves pushing yourself beyond your current skill level to refine your abilities. This type of practice is characterized by setting specific, measurable goals, receiving feedback, and continuously challenging yourself. Unlike mindless repetition, deliberate practice involves being mindful of your weaknesses and actively working to improve them. When you engage in consistent, focused practice, your brain undergoes significant changes. Each time you practice a skill, you create and strengthen neural connections associated with that task. The more you practice, the more efficient and automatic these connections become, allowing you to perform the skill with less mental effort and greater precision. This process, known as neuroplasticity, is the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural pathways. By practicing consistently, you're essentially rewiring your brain to perform the task with greater skill, speed, and accuracy. It's also important to understand that consistent practice leads to gradual improvement, not instant perfection. The road to mastering a new skill is often paved with frustration, setbacks, and moments of doubt. However, these challenges are an essential part of the process. Each time you encounter difficulty, your brain is forced to adapt and improve. This is why consistency, more than intensity, is the key to lasting success. When you commit to practicing a skill consistently, even for just a short period each day, you will see incremental progress that adds up over time. Another benefit of consistent practice is that it helps develop what's known as muscle memory. Muscle memory refers to the ability to perform a physical task without conscious thought. It's what allows you to play an instrument, type on a keyboard, or ride a bike without actively thinking about every movement. Muscle memory is created when your brain automates the process through repeated practice. The more you practice, the more your brain encodes these movements into long-term memory, making them second nature. Over time, the skill becomes ingrained, allowing you to perform it effortlessly. In addition to strengthening your neural pathways and muscle memory, consistent practice helps build mental toughness and discipline. The act of showing up and practicing, even when you're not feeling motivated or when progress seems slow, builds resilience and determination. This consistency in practice teaches you how to persevere through difficulties and stay committed to your goals. Mental toughness is a crucial component of skill mastery because it enables you to continue refining your abilities even in the face of challenges and setbacks. So how can you make consistent practice a part of your routine? The first step is to set clear, achievable goals. When you have a clear sense of what you're working toward, it's easier to stay focused and motivated. Break your larger goals into smaller, actionable steps. For instance, if you're learning a new language, instead of simply aiming to become fluent, set smaller goals like learn 20 new words per week or practice speaking for 15 minutes each day. This makes the task feel less overwhelming and gives you a sense of accomplishment as you reach each milestone. Another important aspect of consistent practice is creating a structured routine. The brain thrives on consistency, so it's essential to establish a regular practice schedule. Whether it's practicing a new skill for 30 minutes every morning or dedicating specific times throughout the week to your learning process, having a consistent practice schedule will help you stay on track and make progress. The more routine your practice becomes, the less effort it takes to commit to it, and the more automatic it becomes. Additionally, it's crucial to maintain a balance between practice and rest. Overworking yourself or practicing for long, intense sessions without proper breaks can lead to burnout and mental fatigue. Just as physical muscles need time to recover, your brain needs time to consolidate the information and skills you've learned. Ensure that you're giving yourself regular breaks during practice sessions, and make sure you're getting enough sleep to allow your brain to process and retain the new information. Incorporating rest and recovery into your routine ensures that you're practicing effectively and that you're maximizing your brain's ability to absorb and improve. Feedback is another critical element of effective practice, whether it comes from a mentor, teacher, or your own self-assessment. Feedback helps you identify areas for improvement and refine your technique. Without feedback, it's easy to fall into the trap of practicing the wrong methods or reinforcing bad habits. Make sure to regularly evaluate your progress and adjust your approach when necessary. Seeking constructive criticism and being open to making adjustments is vital for improving and mastering any skill. One of the most important factors in mastering the art of consistent practice is developing patience. Skill mastery doesn't happen overnight. The process requires time, effort, and ongoing dedication. Trust the process and embrace the journey of improvement, even when results aren't immediately visible. The more patient you are with yourself and the more persistent you remain, the closer you get to reaching your goals. Remember that each small step forward, no matter how incremental, is a step toward mastery. Lastly, make sure you're enjoying the process. If you only focus on the end goal, you may lose sight of the joy that comes from learning and growing. Find ways to make your practice sessions enjoyable and rewarding, whether it's through celebrating small successes, experimenting with different methods, or connecting with others who share similar interests. Enjoying the process of practice will help you stay motivated and committed to your goals. In conclusion, mastering the art of consistent practice is the key to developing brain power and acquiring new skills. By practicing deliberately, setting clear goals, creating a routine, seeking feedback, and exercising patience, you can make steady progress toward mastering any skill you set your mind to. Remember, the more consistent you are in your practice, the more efficient your brain will become at processing, retaining, and applying new information. With the right mindset and a commitment to regular practice, you can achieve mastery and unlock your full potential. Chapter 11. Harness the power of motivation and discipline to achieve your goals. Motivation and discipline are two of the most powerful driving forces behind success in any area of life. Whether you're learning a new skill, improving your knowledge, or working towards a personal or professional goal, having the right balance of motivation and discipline is essential for making consistent progress and achieving lasting success. However, while motivation can often come in bursts of energy, it's discipline that keeps you going when the initial excitement fades and obstacles arise. In this chapter, we will explore how motivation and discipline work together to help you achieve your goals, how to cultivate both qualities, and how they can be harnessed to boost your brain power and accelerate your learning process. Motivation is the fuel that ignites the desire to pursue a goal, but discipline is what ensures that you continue working towards that goal every day, Even when motivation wanes, motivation is often sparked by an external goal or internal desire. You might feel motivated when you think about the rewards or outcomes of achieving your goals, such as the joy of mastering a new skill or the satisfaction of completing a challenging project. Motivation is the initial burst of energy that pushes you to get started and take the first steps toward your goal. However, motivation alone is not enough to guarantee long-term success. Motivation fluctuates. There will be days when you feel excited and energized, and there will be days when you struggle to stay focused. This is where discipline comes into play. Discipline is the ability to consistently show up and put in the effort, regardless of how you're feeling. It's about making a commitment to yourself to do the necessary work, even when you don't feel like it. While motivation gives you the energy to start, discipline provides the consistency you need to keep going. One of the keys to mastering motivation and discipline is setting clear and meaningful goals. When your goals are well-defined, specific, and aligned with your values, they become much easier to commit to. Start by breaking down your larger goals into smaller, more manageable tasks. This makes the process feel less overwhelming and provides you with smaller milestones to celebrate along the way. For example, if your goal is to learn a new language, set specific targets, such as learning 20 new words per week or practicing speaking for 30 minutes each day. Clear goals give you something tangible to work toward, which increases both your motivation and your discipline to stay on track. Another important element of harnessing motivation is understanding the why behind your goals. When you have a deep personal reason for pursuing a goal, your motivation becomes more powerful and resilient. This sense of purpose can help you push through obstacles and remain committed to your goals, even when you encounter difficulties. Take the time to reflect on why you want to achieve your goal. Is it to improve your life, advance your career, gain new skills, or accomplish something that brings you joy? The clearer your why, the stronger your motivation will be, and the more resilient you'll be when faced with challenges. While motivation can give you the initial drive to begin, discipline is what keeps you going. Developing discipline requires building good habits and creating a structured environment that supports your goals. To cultivate discipline, start by making a commitment to practice regularly, even when you don't feel like it. The more you commit to doing something consistently, the more automatic and effortless it becomes. For example, if your goal is to improve your fitness, set a specific time each day to work out, even if it's just for 15 to 20 minutes. By making exercise a daily habit, you train yourself to do it regardless of motivation levels, and over time, it becomes ingrained in your routine. One effective way to build discipline is to implement the 2-minute rule. This rule states that if a task seems overwhelming, or if you're struggling with motivation, commit to doing it for just 2 minutes. The idea is that starting is often the hardest part, and once you've gotten over the initial resistance, you're more likely to continue. For instance, if you're trying to write every day but struggle with motivation, commit to writing for just 2 minutes. Once you start, you might find yourself continuing for much longer. This technique works because it removes the pressure of needing to complete the entire task, allowing you to take small, consistent actions that build discipline over time. Creating an environment that fosters motivation and discipline is also crucial. If you want to stay motivated and disciplined, minimize distractions and eliminate temptations that could derail your focus. Set up a dedicated workspace for learning, free from distractions like your phone or TV. You can also use tools like the Pomodoro technique to break your practice into focused intervals, followed by short breaks. This helps maintain your discipline and motivation over longer periods by ensuring that you stay focused and energized. Another key factor in maintaining discipline is accountability. When you have someone to hold you accountable for your progress, you're more likely to stay motivated and disciplined. This could be a friend, mentor, or colleague who checks in with you regularly, offers feedback, and encourages you to stay on track. Having an external source of motivation and accountability can provide an added layer of support and help you stay committed to your goals. As you continue working towards your goals, it's important to remember that setbacks and failures are a natural part of the process. When things don't go as planned, it's easy to feel discouraged or lose motivation. However, discipline allows you to persevere in these moments, pushing through challenges instead of giving up. It's essential to view setbacks as opportunities to learn and grow, rather than as reasons to quit. Embrace failure as part of the learning journey and use it as a stepping stone to improve your approach and refine your strategies. Ultimately, the combination of motivation and discipline is what leads to lasting success and the ability to learn new skills. Motivation sparks your initial desire and drive to begin, while discipline keeps you going when motivation ebbs. By setting clear goals, understanding your deeper why, building good habits, creating a supportive environment, and staying accountable, you can harness both motivation and discipline to achieve your goals. With consistent effort, persistence, and the right mindset, you will see continuous progress and mastery of new skills. Remember, success is not about being motivated all the time. It's about cultivating the discipline to continue when the motivation fades and making steady progress toward your dreams, no matter the obstacles. Chapter 12. Unlock your creative potential for accelerated learning. Creativity is often seen as a quality reserved for artists, musicians, or writers, but in reality, creativity is an essential tool for everyone, especially when it comes to learning new skills and unlocking brain power. Creativity is the ability to think outside the box, make unique connections, and approach problems from different angles. It's not just about generating new ideas, it's also about finding innovative ways to learn, apply knowledge, and improve your skills. In this chapter, we will explore how you can harness your creative potential to accelerate your learning process, enhance your problem-solving abilities, and boost your overall cognitive performance. At its core, creativity is about breaking free from conventional thinking patterns. When you approach a learning task or challenge in a conventional way, your brain is limited by familiar thought processes and traditional methods. However, when you tap into your creativity, you allow your brain to explore new possibilities and find solutions that might not be immediately obvious. This ability to think creatively not only makes learning more exciting, but also enhances your ability to solve complex problems and acquire new skills more efficiently. One of the most powerful ways creativity accelerates learning is by allowing you to engage with information on a deeper, more personal level. Instead of simply memorizing facts or following a rigid set of instructions, creative thinkers often find ways to connect new information to their existing knowledge in meaningful ways. This helps the brain form stronger, more flexible neural connections, making it easier to recall and apply the information later on. For example, when learning a new concept, instead of relying solely on textbooks or lectures, try creating a mind map, drawing diagrams, or using analogies to relate the material to something you already understand. This personalized, creative approach helps your brain process the information in a more meaningful way. In addition to enhancing memory and understanding, creativity can also improve problem-solving skills. When faced with a challenge, a creative mindset enables you to think of multiple solutions rather than just one. For instance, if you're trying to learn a complex skill, like coding or playing a musical instrument, your brain might encounter a roadblock where the traditional methods aren't working. In these moments, creative thinking allows you to come up with alternative approaches, experiment with different strategies, and break through mental barriers. The more flexible and open-minded you are, the more likely you are to find innovative solutions to problems. Creativity also encourages experimentation and playfulness, which are essential for mastery. Often, when people try to learn something new, they become focused on doing it correctly or perfectly, which can create anxiety and hinder progress. Creativity, however, allows you to embrace mistakes and failures as part of the learning process. When you allow yourself to play, explore, and experiment with new ideas without worrying about perfection, you create a learning environment that fosters growth. The freedom to fail and try again without fear of judgment or failure encourages the brain to adapt and improve through trial and error. One of the most significant benefits of creativity is its ability to enhance your capacity for innovation. When you approach learning and skill acquisition creatively, you unlock the ability to invent new techniques, processes, and strategies that work best for you. This personalized approach to learning allows you to identify the most effective methods for acquiring and applying knowledge, making your learning process faster and more efficient. For example, if you're learning a new language, You might experiment with different tools, such as flashcards, language apps, or immersive experiences like watching movies or listening to music in the target language. The more creative and adaptable you are, the more likely you are to find the methods that work best for your unique brain and learning style. Another key aspect of creativity is the ability to combine seemingly unrelated ideas or concepts. This ability to connect disparate pieces of information is a hallmark of creative thinking and is essential for mastering complex skills. When you learn to combine different ideas, theories, or methods, you create a richer, more robust understanding of the material. For instance, when learning to write, you might draw inspiration from literature, music, or your own life experiences. By combining these diverse elements, you create something entirely unique and personal, which deepens your understanding and enhances your creative abilities. So, how can you tap into your creative potential and apply it to your learning process? The first step is to embrace curiosity. Curiosity is the driving force behind creativity. When you're genuinely curious about a subject, you naturally start asking questions, exploring new ideas, and seeking out new experiences. This sense of curiosity fuels creative thinking and keeps you motivated to learn. To cultivate curiosity, allow yourself to explore topics or areas of knowledge that spark your interest. Don't be afraid to go off the beaten path and explore new ways of thinking. The more you engage your curiosity, the more likely you are to discover creative solutions to learning challenges. Another effective strategy is to create an environment that fosters creativity. Surround yourself with things that inspire you, whether it's artwork, books, music, or nature. The creative environment can help your brain think more freely and open up new pathways for learning. In addition, make time for activities that encourage creative thinking, such as journaling, brainstorming, or simply daydreaming. These activities allow your brain to wander and make new connections, leading to innovative insights that can help accelerate your learning process. It's also important to challenge yourself regularly with new and unfamiliar tasks. Creativity thrives when you step out of your comfort zone and expose yourself to new experiences. The more you push yourself to try new things, whether it's learning a new skill or approaching a familiar task in a different way, the more creative and adaptable you become. Each new challenge forces your brain to find new solutions and enhances your ability to think flexibly and critically. One powerful way to nurture your creativity is by collaborating with others. Engaging with people who have different perspectives, skills, and backgrounds can spark new ideas and help you think in ways you may not have considered before. Collaborative learning environments allow for the exchange of ideas, techniques, and strategies, all of which contribute to a more creative and dynamic learning process. Whether it's joining a group, participating in discussions, or working on projects together, collaboration can help you think creatively and solve problems more effectively. Finally, it's essential to give yourself permission to fail and experiment. Creativity flourishes in environments where mistakes are seen as opportunities to learn and grow. When you give yourself the freedom to try new things without the fear of failure, you open the door to greater innovation and progress. Remember, creativity is not about being perfect. It's about finding new ways of thinking, problem-solving, and approaching challenges. The more you embrace creativity as part of your learning journey, the more you will unlock your brain's potential to absorb new skills and ideas. In summary, creativity is a powerful tool for accelerating learning and boosting brain power. By thinking outside the box, making connections, embracing curiosity, and experimenting with new methods, you can enhance your ability to learn, solve problems, and master new skills. Creativity doesn't just help you think in novel ways, it also makes the process of learning more enjoyable and fulfilling. When you unlock your creative potential, you'll discover that learning becomes not just easier, but also more exciting and rewarding. So tap into your creativity, experiment boldly, and watch as your ability to learn and grow reaches new heights. Chapter 13. Develop emotional intelligence for greater learning and personal growth. Emotional intelligence, EQ, is one of the most vital, yet often overlooked, components of brain power and personal growth. While cognitive intelligence, IQ, is often associated with academic success and raw analytical ability, Emotional intelligence governs how we handle emotions, relate to others, and manage our own behaviors. It plays a pivotal role in how effectively we learn, how we face challenges, and how we grow both personally and professionally. In this chapter, we will explore what emotional intelligence is, why it's so essential for learning and personal growth, and how you can develop and apply your emotional intelligence to accelerate your learning process and achieve your goals. At its core, emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, manage, and influence your emotions and the emotions of others. It's made up of several components, including self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. These elements all work together to help you navigate life's challenges, maintain meaningful relationships, and optimize your brain's capacity for learning and growth. Self-awareness is the foundation of emotional intelligence. It refers to the ability to recognize and understand your own emotions in the moment. Self-aware individuals are conscious of how their emotions influence their thoughts, behaviors, and interactions with others. When you are self-aware, you can identify your emotional triggers, manage them effectively, and make conscious choices about how to respond. For example, when faced with a stressful situation, a self-aware person can recognize feelings of anxiety or frustration and take steps to calm themselves before reacting impulsively. This emotional clarity allows for greater focus, better decision-making, and improved problem-solving. Self-regulation is the ability to manage and control your emotions, particularly in challenging or high-stress situations, instead of allowing emotions like anger, fear, or frustration to dictate your actions. Individuals with high emotional intelligence can pause, reflect, and choose an appropriate response. Self-regulation allows you to stay calm under pressure, avoid overreacting to setbacks, and remain focused on the task at hand. This is crucial for learning because it prevents negative emotions from hindering your ability to process new information or persist through challenges. Whether you're learning a new skill, studying for an exam, or facing an obstacle, self-regulation helps you stay composed and focused, which is essential for long-term success. Motivation is another key component of emotional intelligence. It refers to your ability to set and pursue goals with energy and persistence. People with high emotional intelligence are often intrinsically motivated. They find personal fulfillment and meaning in the process of learning and growth itself, not just in the end result. They are able to maintain a positive mindset even when faced with challenges and can continue working toward their goals despite setbacks or frustrations. Motivation within the context of emotional intelligence is about having a deeper sense of purpose and commitment to your goals, which drives you to keep learning, improving, and achieving. This motivation is particularly powerful because it's internally driven, meaning that it comes from within you, not from external rewards or praise. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. It allows you to put yourself in someone else's shoes and respond to their emotions with compassion and understanding. While empathy is most commonly associated with social relationships, it also plays a significant role in learning. When you understand others' perspectives, you can better communicate, collaborate, and learn from them. Additionally, empathy helps you manage conflicts and build strong relationships, both of which are important in environments like work or school. In learning settings, being empathetic allows you to connect more deeply with others' ideas, see multiple sides of an argument or problem, and foster a more collaborative learning environment. Finally, social skills are the ability to manage relationships and navigate social situations effectively. People with high emotional intelligence know how to communicate clearly, resolve conflicts, and build rapport with others. They are able to work well in teams, negotiate effectively, and influence others positively. In terms of learning, social skills help you collaborate with peers, share knowledge, and receive feedback in a constructive manner. Strong social skills also help you create a supportive learning environment, whether that's in a classroom, workplace, or personal development setting. How emotional intelligence enhances learning. So why is emotional intelligence so crucial for learning and personal growth? Emotional intelligence allows you to manage your emotions and stay focused, both of which are necessary for absorbing new information and developing new skills. For example, when you're learning something challenging, it's easy to become frustrated or discouraged. If you lack self-regulation, these emotions can prevent you from persevering or even lead to procrastination. However, if you have high emotional intelligence, you are better equipped to manage those emotions, maintain a positive mindset, and keep pushing forward despite difficulties. Moreover, emotional intelligence helps you stay motivated and committed to the learning process. It's often the case that people give up on their goals when they don't see immediate results or when they encounter roadblocks. Emotional intelligence helps you stay committed to long-term goals, even when progress is slow, by reminding you of the deeper purpose behind your learning efforts. This intrinsic motivation allows you to maintain your focus and dedication, which are essential for mastering new skills over time. Additionally, empathy and social skills can accelerate your learning by enabling you to collaborate effectively with others. Learning is often a social endeavor, whether you're participating in group discussions, working on a project with a team, or seeking feedback from a mentor. When you possess empathy and social skills, you can interact with others in a way that fosters mutual respect, learning, and growth. You are also more likely to seek out and give constructive feedback, which is essential for improvement. The good news is that emotional intelligence is not a fixed trait. It's a skill that can be developed and strengthened over time. Here are a few strategies you can use to enhance your emotional intelligence and accelerate your learning practice. Mindfulness. Mindfulness helps you become more self-aware by allowing you to observe your emotions without judgment. When you practice mindfulness, you can pause, reflect, and respond to your emotions more thoughtfully, which enhances self-regulation and focus. Regular mindfulness exercises, such as meditation or deep breathing, can help you stay grounded and improve emotional awareness. Keep a journal. Writing about your experiences, feelings, and thoughts can help you reflect on your emotional responses to different situations. This practice increases self-awareness and can also help you identify patterns in your behavior, enabling you to manage emotions more effectively. You can also use your journal to track your learning progress, challenges, and emotional growth. Seek feedback. Ask others for constructive feedback on your emotional responses and interactions. Pay attention to how you react in different situations and consider areas where you could improve. Feedback from trusted peers, mentors, or friends can give you valuable insights into how your emotions affect your learning and relationships. Practice active listening. Active listening involves focusing entirely on the speaker, understanding their message, and responding thoughtfully. This helps improve empathy and social skills, allowing you to connect better with others and learn from them. By truly listening to others, you not only strengthen your relationships, but also gain a deeper understanding of different perspectives. Set emotional goals. Just as you set academic or professional goals, set emotional goals for yourself. These could involve improving your ability to manage stress, increasing your empathy, or developing better communication skills. By setting clear emotional intelligence goals, you can actively work on strengthening your EQ and apply it to your learning process. In conclusion, developing emotional intelligence is essential for enhancing learning and personal growth. By improving self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills, you can create an environment where you can thrive emotionally, socially, and intellectually. With a higher level of emotional intelligence, you'll be able to manage stress more effectively, stay motivated even in the face of challenges, and build stronger relationships, all of which will accelerate your ability to learn and grow. By making emotional intelligence a priority, you unlock your full potential for both learning and personal success. Chapter 14. Cultivate a strong mental framework for resilient learning. One of the most important factors that determine your ability to learn effectively and overcome challenges is your mental framework. A mental framework is the structure of beliefs, attitudes, and cognitive processes that guide how you approach the world, including learning, problem-solving, and personal growth. It is how your brain interprets information, reacts to setbacks, and shapes your experience of success and failure. In order to become a resilient learner and adapt to the challenges that come with mastering new skills, it's essential to cultivate a strong mental framework that supports continuous growth, adaptability, and perseverance. This chapter will explore how you can build and strengthen a mental framework that fosters resilient learning, helping you to achieve long-term success, overcome obstacles, and maintain a positive, forward-thinking mindset in the face of difficulties. Understanding mental frameworks. Your mental framework shapes your perspective on learning and the way you deal with challenges. It influences how you view your abilities, handle setbacks, and pursue new knowledge. A strong mental framework is flexible, adaptive, and growth-oriented. It encourages the belief that intelligence and skills can be developed through effort and perseverance, and it sees challenges as opportunities for growth rather than threats to your abilities. However, many people operate with limiting mental frameworks that hinder their potential for learning. These limiting frameworks often involve beliefs like, "I'm not good at this," "I can't do it," or "I'll never be able to learn this." These types of fixed beliefs not only block progress, but also create self-doubt and a fear of failure, which can make the learning process feel overwhelming and discouraging. A resilient mental framework, on the other hand, focuses on the power of persistence, effort, and continuous improvement. It acknowledges the inevitability of challenges, but views them as part of the journey rather than obstacles. The role of growth mindset in mental frameworks. One of the most powerful elements of a strong mental framework is a growth mindset. A growth mindset, popularized by psychologist Carol Dweck, is the belief that your abilities and intelligence are not fixed traits but can be developed through dedication, effort, and learning. Those with a growth mindset embrace challenges, persist through difficulties, and learn from feedback and failure. They don't see setbacks as evidence of their inability, but as an essential part of the learning process. To cultivate a resilient mental framework, it's critical to develop and reinforce a growth mindset. When you view learning as a continuous process rather than a destination, you are more likely to approach challenges with curiosity, openness, and determination. The growth mindset encourages you to push through obstacles, recognizing that the path to mastery is filled with both triumphs and failures. The key takeaway is that your abilities are not predetermined. They are shaped by the effort and strategies you apply to your learning. You can cultivate a growth mindset by shifting the way you talk to yourself. Instead of saying, "I'm just not good at this," replace it with, "I may not be good at this yet, but with practice, I'll improve." This simple change in language helps reframe challenges as opportunities for growth and encourages you to persist even when things feel difficult. Another strategy for developing a growth mindset is to celebrate progress, no matter how small. Recognizing and appreciating the incremental improvements you make along the way reinforces the belief that your effort leads to growth, boosting your motivation to continue. Building mental flexibility. A key component of a resilient mental framework is mental flexibility. Mental flexibility is the ability to adapt your thinking, approach, and strategies based on new information or changing circumstances. Learning new skills often requires you to be flexible in your thinking. What works for one task may not work for another, and new challenges may require you to adjust your methods. Cultivating mental flexibility involves developing the ability to think critically, analyze different approaches, and remain open to new ways of doing things. It's about not being overly attached to one method or approach, but rather embracing experimentation and exploration. Mental flexibility also helps you navigate uncertainty and complexity, both of which are inevitable in the learning process. Instead of becoming frustrated when something doesn't go according to plan, mentally flexible individuals are able to pivot, try new solutions, and remain solution-oriented. One way to build mental flexibility is to practice problem-solving in different contexts. When you encounter a challenge, ask yourself how many different ways you can approach it. Try to view the problem from multiple angles and explore various potential solutions. This not only broadens your perspective, but also strengthens your ability to adapt your thinking when faced with new tasks or situations. It's about developing a mindset that is not rigid but fluid, allowing you to adjust and grow in response to feedback and new experiences. Embracing challenges as opportunities. Another essential aspect of a strong mental framework for resilient learning is the ability to embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. Learning is rarely a smooth and linear process. There will always be moments of struggle, confusion, and failure. These moments, however, are not signs of inadequacy. They are an integral part of the learning process. When you view challenges through the lens of opportunity, you can approach them with curiosity and a sense of possibility rather than fear or frustration. This mindset shift allows you to stay engaged with the learning process, even when things aren't going as planned. Instead of avoiding difficult tasks or giving up when faced with obstacles, you'll be more likely to persist and find creative solutions to overcome the challenge. A useful strategy for embracing challenges is to break them down into smaller, more manageable tasks. By focusing on one step at a time, you can make even the most overwhelming challenges feel more achievable. This process not only helps reduce anxiety, but also reinforces the belief that challenges are solvable, no matter how complex they may seem. Each small success along the way builds your confidence and strengthens your resilience. Cultivating self-compassion. Resilient learners also cultivate self-compassion, which is the ability to be kind to yourself during times of struggle or failure. Self-compassion allows you to treat yourself with the same understanding and patience that you would offer to a friend who is going through a difficult time. When you're faced with a setback or failure, instead of criticizing yourself or feeling ashamed, self-compassion allows you to acknowledge the challenge, accept it, and commit to learning from it. This quality is essential for building a strong mental framework because it encourages a healthy relationship with yourself, which ultimately supports your learning. When you practice self-compassion, you're more likely to stay motivated and persistent, even when you encounter difficulties. You understand that failure is not a reflection of your worth, but an opportunity to learn and improve. To practice self-compassion, start by becoming aware of your inner dialogue. When you make a mistake or face a challenge, ask yourself if you would say the same critical things to a friend in a similar situation. If not, try to reframe your thoughts in a more compassionate and supportive way. Treat yourself with kindness and recognize that you are doing your best and learning along the way. The role of reflection and adaptation. Building a strong mental framework for resilient learning also involves reflection and adaptation. Reflection allows you to pause, evaluate your progress, and make adjustments to your approach. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle of learning and improvement, but taking time to reflect on your experiences can help you identify patterns, strengths, and areas for growth. Through reflection, you can adapt your methods, learn from mistakes, and refine your strategies to make future learning more efficient and effective. To reflect effectively, set aside time regularly to think about what is working and what isn't in your learning process. Ask yourself questions like, what strategies helped me succeed? What obstacles did I encounter? And how can I overcome them next time? By reviewing your progress and adjusting your approach accordingly, you strengthen your mental framework and ensure that you remain on the path to growth. Conclusion. Cultivating a strong mental framework for resilient learning is key to mastering any skill and achieving your goals. By embracing a growth mindset, building mental flexibility, viewing challenges as opportunities, practicing self-compassion, and engaging in regular reflection, you create the mental structure necessary for long-term success. This mental framework not only supports your ability to learn, but also enables you to navigate the ups and downs of the learning process with resilience, determination, and confidence. When you cultivate this framework, you unlock your brain's full potential, allowing you to learn more effectively, overcome setbacks, and ultimately master any skill you set your mind to. Chapter 15. Develop a focused approach to continuous improvement. One of the most powerful ways to enhance your brain power and accelerate your learning process is by developing a focused approach to continuous improvement. Achieving mastery in any skill or area of life requires more than just initial effort. It demands a commitment to ongoing learning, refinement, and self-assessment. Continuous improvement is not a one-time event, but a mindset and practice that you integrate into your daily life. In this chapter, we will explore how you can cultivate this mindset, develop a structured approach to continuous improvement, and harness its power to foster long-term growth, learning, and success. What is continuous improvement? Continuous improvement refers to the ongoing effort to enhance your skills, knowledge, and abilities through regular practice, feedback, and reflection. It involves consistently striving to get better at what you do, no matter how much progress you've already made. Unlike the traditional approach of aiming for perfection or immediate mastery, continuous improvement is focused on incremental growth. It's about making small adjustments, learning from each experience, and refining your techniques over time. The core idea behind continuous improvement is that you can always improve, no matter where you are in your learning journey. This mindset rejects the idea of arriving at a final state of mastery, recognizing that there is always room for growth, whether it's developing a new skill, improving an existing one, or striving to become better at handling challenges. The focus is on steady, deliberate progress. The power of small, incremental changes. One of the keys to continuous improvement is the focus on small, incremental changes. Many people often think that in order to improve, they need to make dramatic changes or achieve big breakthroughs. However, true growth often happens through consistent small actions. Small improvements accumulate over time and lead to significant progress. This concept is known as the compounding effect. Just like money in a savings account, small amounts of effort and improvement consistently added over time yield substantial results. If you commit to improving by just 1% every day, you will make incredible progress in the long run. It may seem like a modest improvement in the moment, but over time, the effects become exponential. For example, if you are learning a new language and commit to learning 5 new words each day, you may feel like it's a small and insignificant effort. However, by the end of the month, you will have learned 150 new words. This cumulative effect of consistent, small efforts leads to tangible progress that adds up to major achievements over time. Similarly, in areas like fitness, productivity, or creativity, focusing on consistent improvement, no matter how small, will lead to significant transformation. Setting clear, achievable goals. A focused approach to continuous improvement requires setting clear, specific, and achievable goals. Without a clear direction, it's easy to become distracted or overwhelmed. Goals serve as your roadmap, guiding you through the learning process and helping you maintain focus on what matters most. When setting goals for continuous improvement, ensure that they are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. SMART goals. For example, instead of setting a vague goal like, "I'd want to get better at writing," make it more specific. "I will write 500 words every day for the next 30 days to improve my writing skills." This goal is measurable, 500 words. Attainable, it's a realistic amount. Relevant, it aligns with your overall objectives. And time-bound, you have a clear time frame of 30 days. Having clear goals provides structure and direction in your continuous improvement efforts. They help you prioritize tasks, stay on track, and give you a sense of accomplishment as you achieve each milestone along the way. Embracing feedback and self-reflection. A crucial element of continuous improvement is embracing feedback and self-reflection. Feedback, whether it comes from others or yourself, provides valuable insights into your progress and areas for further growth. It helps you understand what you're doing well and where you may need to adjust your approach. Seek constructive feedback from mentors, peers, or anyone with more experience in the area you're working to improve. Feedback is not about criticism. It's about gaining perspective on how you can continue to refine your skills and improve your performance. When receiving feedback, try to approach it with an open mind and a willingness to learn, even if it feels uncomfortable or challenging. Remember that feedback is an essential tool for growth. Self-reflection also plays an important role in continuous improvement. Regularly evaluate your progress and ask yourself reflective questions. What worked well today? What could I have done differently? What can I do tomorrow to improve further? By reflecting on your experiences, you gain a deeper understanding of your strengths and weaknesses, allowing you to make more informed decisions moving forward. Self-reflection also helps you identify patterns in your behavior, which allows you to address any obstacles or limiting beliefs that might be hindering your progress. Cultivating consistency and discipline. The key to sustained long-term improvement lies in consistency and discipline. Without consistent practice, even the most well-intentioned efforts toward improvement will falter. Discipline is what keeps you on track, even when motivation fluctuates or when challenges arise. Consistency doesn't mean perfection. It simply means showing up every day and putting in the effort, no matter how small, whether it's dedicating a few minutes each day to a task or setting aside time each week to assess your progress. The important thing is to make steady and consistent effort a habit. Developing discipline involves creating a routine or structure that supports your improvement efforts. Schedule regular practice sessions or set aside specific time blocks for learning and self-assessment. Over time, these consistent actions become ingrained in your daily routine, making continuous improvement a natural part of your life. Embracing failure as a learning opportunity. One of the greatest barriers to continuous improvement is the fear of failure. Many people avoid challenging themselves or trying new things because they're afraid of making mistakes or not being successful. However, failure is not the enemy of progress. It's an essential part of the learning process. Each failure provides valuable lessons and insights that contribute to your overall growth. When you fail, you gain an understanding of what doesn't work, which brings you closer to finding what does. Embrace failure as a natural and inevitable part of the journey toward mastery. The most successful people in any field have faced multiple failures along the way, but they use those experiences as stepping stones to greater achievement. By reframing failure as a learning opportunity, you shift your mindset from fear to resilience. When you fail, instead of giving up, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? This mindset will not only help you persist through difficulties, but will also foster continuous improvement by allowing you to grow from every setback. Building momentum and staying motivated. As you pursue continuous improvement, you may encounter periods where progress feels slow, or you might struggle with motivation. During these times, it's essential to build momentum by celebrating small wins along the way. Recognize and reward yourself for hitting milestones, no matter how small they seem. This positive reinforcement will help maintain your motivation and keep you moving forward. Another effective way to stay motivated is to track your progress. Keeping a record of your achievements allows you to see how far you've come, which can be incredibly motivating during challenging times. Whether you're keeping a journal, using an app, or simply noting milestones, tracking your progress provides tangible evidence of the growth you're experiencing. Conclusion. A focused approach to continuous improvement is one of the most powerful ways to boost your brain power, enhance your skills, and achieve long-term success. By setting clear goals, embracing feedback and self-reflection, cultivating consistency and discipline, and viewing failure as an opportunity for growth, you create a foundation for continuous learning and personal development. Remember, improvement is not a one-time effort. It's an ongoing process that requires dedication, resilience, and patience. The more you commit to this process, the more you'll unlock your potential for learning and mastery, ultimately achieving your personal and professional goals. Conclusion. Unlocking your full potential through continuous growth. The journey of learning and personal growth is a lifelong process, and each chapter of this book has provided you with the tools, strategies, and mindset shifts necessary to unlock your full potential. From the foundational principles of neuroplasticity to the transformative power of emotional intelligence, we've explored how you can harness your brain's innate capacity for growth, adapt to challenges, and continuously improve in every aspect of your life. One of the most powerful insights shared throughout this book is the understanding that learning is not a destination, but a journey. Every new skill you acquire, every challenge you overcome, and every piece of knowledge you gain contributes to your growth. The key to success is not in achieving a final state of mastery, but in committing to continuous improvement, taking small, consistent steps every day toward becoming a better version of yourself. As we've discussed, building resilience, cultivating a growth mindset, and creating a support network are all crucial elements of your learning journey. These aspects work together to form a strong mental framework that not only helps you tackle setbacks, but also keeps you moving forward when things get tough. With a strong support system, the right mindset, and a relentless commitment to growth, you'll be able to face any challenge with confidence and continue learning effectively, no matter what your goals may be. Moreover, the importance of developing a structured and focused approach to your learning cannot be overstated. Setting clear goals, practicing regularly, seeking feedback, and embracing failure as part of the process are all critical components of any successful learning strategy. Through consistent effort and a focused mindset, you can turn even the most difficult tasks into manageable steps, ensuring steady progress toward your goals. Remember, every learning journey is unique, and there is no single path to success. By applying the principles shared in this book, you can adapt and shape your approach to learning to suit your individual needs, strengths, and challenges. The power to unlock your potential lies within you, and through continuous effort, persistence, and a strong, adaptable mindset, you can achieve things you once thought impossible. As you move forward, keep in mind that the most important part of the learning process is not the destination but the person you become along the way. With each new skill you develop, with each obstacle you overcome, you are constantly evolving into the best version of yourself. Keep embracing the process, stay curious, and remember that your capacity for growth is limitless. The journey is yours to make, and with the knowledge and tools you've gained in this book, you are more than equipped to make it a successful one. Continue to challenge yourself, stay committed, and unlock the full power of your potential every single day.